All right, so part 4 turns the argument into something usable. All right, so audit this week's content. Is it solving a real constraint or just filling a slot? And many people will see that they're actually filling slot. So this part of the webinar, all right, series or a special webinar episode. Make sure you watch other part of this webinar and watch the entire webinar as well to solve your marketing exhaustion, right, or overwhelming issues. So this webinar works because it reveals what's running on autopilot. Right, this audit works because it reveals what's running on autopilot. So the wrong things that keep on just happening automatically. All right. So what it is, so for each piece of content planned this week, asking whether it traces back to a diagnosed constraint or or was decided in the moment and framework required just an honest trade. What am I trying to say? So for a piece of content that you are planning to release this week, right? I want to look at that. Am I releasing this because I want to address this particular constraint, or I'm just releasing for releasing sake? And am I really releasing the series of content to address a particular constraint? Because you cannot effectively be addressing visibility while also addressing authority, while also addressing this. Usually every week should kind of have a focus. If you cannot even be in a month, every week should have a focus at this. Like something that is like 80% of your content is on it. 20 can be for free for play or for any other thing. But most of it is focused on dealing with that particular layer, that particular constraint. So what could be the common reason for failure taking this audit? Is assuming that your content is intentional. Right? Because it was planned in advance and even have one of the best planning tools. Plan isn't the same as diagnosis. So you can sit down and actually plan something, but it never came out of a real diagnosis. It came out of assumption, it came out of hearsay, it came out of seeing things that you saw in the market. So you cannot really tell whether this was actually done intentionally. So what's the fix here? So if you can't name the constraint, it moves, right? It is if you can't name the constraint, it moves. So it goes somewhere. It's just going around. It's just moving around your content, right? It's a slot filler. It's just filling things. Nothing really done over there. So the first question in this audit, and you have to answer honestly. The first one is, how much time does my weekly content planning currently take? Honestly, right? Honestly measure. How long do you take to plan weekly? Some may be 2, some 4 hours, some may be 6 hours, some may be more than that, right? And then the second thing is, does this week's content trace back to a diagnosed constraint, or was it decided in the moment? All right, so you want to ask yourself that question. Then 3, which constraint is binding my growth this month? Is it visibility? Is it authority? Is it conversion? Is it capacity? We spoke about that earlier. And then 4, what would change if I run diagnose and if I diagnose or design once a month instead of guessing every week? So this is a sincere thing, right? You saw what happened when you were just guessing every week. Now you are going with the mindset of diagnosing, right? Having a diagnosis of what's happening based on knowing what exactly is your constraint. What could happen to your business? What could happen to your engagement? What could happen to that page? And then 5, what's the smallest first version of the blueprint loop I could start running this week? What's the smallest version of it? So you want to start somewhere. What's the easiest way? That blueprint loop, the feedback that you took from it, what exactly are you going to do with it from this very week? Right? So practically, let's look at the case study here. So how one coach cut weekly content planning in half with one system change. Right. So a coach who rebuilt their content calendar from scratch every Sunday for over a year, calling it the most dreaded 2 hours of the week. And it can only be dreaded when you're using a clear framework. Sometimes even when you use AI, right? And you are not even telling that AI, this was happening with my business, this is a constraint that I found. AI will just do what AI does, just pick things from everywhere, organize them in a very nice way, and just give you an answer. But if you even decide to use AI for content, like, okay, this is what's happening in my business. I want to address visibility issues. I want to address authority issues. I want to address the conversion constraint. I want to address the capacity constraint. It helps make your content calendar more accurate and more intentional. So one loop have the planning time. So 50% weekly planning, right? So when you start applying what we're talking about, what will happen is that there will be at least half reduction. That's what happened to this coach. A half reduction in the weekly planning time. So maybe you're spending 3 hours, it become an hour and a half. You're spending 4 hours, become, just 2 hours, right? A weekly planning cut within the first month of running the loop, and then 1 month, right, to see the shift. So you just applied for 1 month, not that the day you stop for the wrong thing, things just saying no. For 1 month, you just said, okay, things are start changing after a month, right? And then what happens is that zero dread left unresolved. So it's no more a dreadful thing. That exhaustion, that feeling of, oh, am I coming to do this again? Come on. And you can even postpone it. That actually like causes for why many pages sometimes are not consistent, because the content calendar defines everything. You cannot really in a very accurate way come up with the problem that you are addressing with your content. It's really going to be a dreadful one. So the most valuable part wasn't the time save. It was the elimination of a low grade dread that was built up around content planning. All right. All right. So what actually changed? So Sunday planning, or maybe weekend planning, however you put it. Before, it used to be, it was rebuilt from scratch every week, right? It takes 2 hours or even more. And then after, what happens is that execution against an existing plan. So that's what the content calendar is about now, every weekend. Weekly planning time. So consistently dreaded, dreaded and full length. So what happens now is that it's cut roughly into half within a month. And then content direction for general presence, right? So you are just there in the market, you are just around and everything here and there, that kind of thing, right? But now what happens now is that you can tracing to a specific, there is no constraint. So you know that somebody can tell you actually addressing this particular thing over and over. And then low grade dread, before, it used to be present in every single week. Every single week. And then resolve each week. Right. So what happens is that it has been resolved each week and there's a clear answer, right? There's a clear way to go around everything. All right. So part 5, right here, I think this was even part 5. So every week now had a clear answer to what I should make before the week even began. So the coach, after adopting the blueprint loop, that's what they end up saying. So every week now had a clear answer to what should I make before the week even began. So there's just more clarity to whatever you're doing. Month. So you can go ahead and do that. So you already know what's missing, what's the missing upstream or what's missing up there, right? So let's build your loop. Let's build it with you together. So we are offering you a free 15-minute call where we'd like to hear about your business and see exactly how we can help you in a more unique way and provide you some answers as well, right? That's completely free. So make sure you check the link in the description to actually book that. Thank you once again for your time, and I look forward to seeing you in the next webinar. Bye-bye.